Okay, hello everyone. Paul Training here. Hello world. All right, so good to have you here. We're gonna show you how to master selections in Photoshop. Really, throw anything at me, I will mask it out. Again, that is the goal. So feel free. Fantastic. Afroja, good to see ya. Kind of went live on my personal channel earlier, accidentally. But it was all in preparation for this. So feel free to hit the like, the comment, the share button. I'm hitting the share now, right now. And you got it. That's exactly what I'm doing. All right, fantastic. Good to have you here. Let me know what's happening, where you're from, what you're doing today. All that stuff. Carl's in the house. Afroja. I'm ready to get this party started if you are. So if that works for you, Matthias as well. Hello, Saif on my Facebook page as well. Good to have you here. Steve as well. So again, you could, if you know Photoshop, like if you know how to do selections well, that's like most of the battle. So I hope you get a lot out of this. I think it's really important. And if everybody is ready, I'm just going to kind of dive into some different scenarios that we would have when it comes to just like selecting content. All right, so let's dive into this right now. Andrew Kavanaugh in the house. Andrew, I need to do a live stream on your channel. I did not forget about you. But let's go ahead and do this right now. I'm going to go ahead and switch my screen. And we'll start with something simple. Of course, this is a photo I'm opening. I actually shot it last night. It's a camera raw file. I'm going to hit auto. It's automatically going to make it look like magic, right? So again, camera raw does this magic here, but there's some cutting out I need to do. Okay, click done. That's another image right there that I'm going to cut out, and I'm going to show you the project that I'm working on as well. Oops, did I hit done? I actually need to hit open. All right, open image. Just like that, because I'm going to make a cool sort of fun spring-like image because it's going to be in the 70s tomorrow in beautiful Denver. So hi from Sweden. Gabriel, good to have you here. Gabriella as well. Tony, Nate, what's shaking? All right, again, it's going to be springtime. It's going to be in the 70s here tomorrow in Denver. But then it's actually supposed to snow this weekend. So that's always fun, right? Just when you think spring is here. Let's take some more complex images, right? We have some of these as well. Let's take this one, right? Double clicking. I'm just opening up a couple images, hitting auto. That's a camera raw file, maybe increasing this exposure a little bit. Clicking open image. We're going to make these all part of this wonderful image over here with the woman. And let's grab one more that has a lot going on. Kind of right down here. This one, how would we do this selection? Say I wanted to weave in some text in here, and this is kind of like the one I want to work on. In fact, crank it up, hit open image. Let's get this party started. Bleddy as well. Welcome. Abdelrahman and Lilani from Belgium. Chillin'. It's good. Tuscany. Makes me want to travel. So these are all my images. I have this shortcut that will allow me to tile all my images and then consolidate. So that's what I'll do a lot. If I encourage you to, map any shortcuts, it would be this to sort of arrange your workspace to tile images, right? I say tile, and then I also do consolidate all to tabs. Those are my shortcut keys. Another trip, use all the keys. I literally hold down Control Option Command, and that's what and then the letter of what I wanted to do. So in Control Option Command T, and that will put everything in tabs. And then I'll select this image right here, hit R, boom, we're well on our way. Let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at a couple of these. Let's take this one. Really easily, initially, what can we do? Easiest thing we can do is we could use these selection tools. Yes, we could use the Lasso tool, some things like that. Chances are you might try the Magic Wand tool right? But it's all about picking the best tool for the job. If it's color-based, what I typically want to do is I want to go up to select, and I want to go down to color range, right? So that's what I'll do. I'll select the color range right in here. I can click right in here. You can see it's selected at all, or I can click around here as well. And if I hold down the plus key, I'm actually grabbing more pixels. So as I click down here, by the way, holding down the shift key, it's adding, right? And then I can just click right there, okay? Another thing I can do is I can hold down the command key and I get a preview of it up here. So I could also work on this image if I want to as well. Okay, so I'm kind of toggling between the two. That will do it. Shift key, clicking, click OK. Boom, it selects it. It's pretty good. What do we do right over here? Well, you guessed it. We can go ahead and turn this into a mask. Let's pull this panel out. Mask. Boom, there it is, right? Oh, should have held on the Alt key, but I've inverted that. And now we have this. It's pretty clean so far. In fact, you'll notice whether it's good or not as you start to add it to your project. And let me know if you have questions. Anissa, good to have you here. Hello, my friend. It's been a while. Chip from Miami, 83 degrees. Into it. Greece. Oh, all these amazing places. You people. Jeez, living the life, I guess. So here's the flower. I'll drag that over. We'll see how that looks. That's actually pretty crisp. Ooh, there's some issues with it. Let's do my shortcut. Right, it looks like there's a little bit of a halo. Again, excuse me, can do a number of things, but basically I want to kind of... You can see that there's a little bit of a haze, and this sometimes actually happens. I noticed there's a haze. In fact, this is a great pro tip as well. If you have maybe some pixels that you missed in your selections, which I actually did, but it's really hard to see, what you can do, if you double click, and I remember doing this a long time ago, and Jesus reminded me of it last week, Jesus Ramirez. But I can come in here and I can add a stroke to it. So notice as I add the stroke, it adds a stroke around every pixel, but more importantly, you can see that it highlights everywhere where there's pixels. So there's a slight haze that I didn't grab, okay, just by adding that stroke, right? Again, we'll kind of pick up on those pixels that you may or may not have missed, right? And again, I can use tools like the quick selection tool or the magic wand tool. In general, I'm just going to use quick selection to quickly grab those pixels and fill that in with black, kind of like that. And let's deselect this one, shall we? Okay, I'm gonna go beyond this in a second. Just give me one moment. Give me 1 second. I'm going to use the magic wand and then just hold down the shift key and start to select some of these other pixels. That's all I'm doing. And along with quick selection. All right, I'm just kind of grabbing what I need with those two keys. Let's just do this. There we go. Sorry. Wrong color in the front. There we go. Okay, done. Good enough. Works for me. I was just showing a simple example of just selecting a flower, essentially, right? Let's make this more complex, okay? Let's go beyond this. So that's one example, taking something that has color all around it, you know, and just removing that color. And that's where you would use sort of color range. This is probably the oldest selection method that we've had. I got a question from Bloody. Can you save a selection for use later? Yes, you can. Right in here. With this saved, I can go, this is how I would typically do it. Well, actually, you would go right up here. I actually haven't done it in a while, but you'll go down here and you can save selection under the selection menu. Select menu. Select save selection, and then this is flower. Just like that, okay? Done and done. So that looks pretty good. Now we can move on from there. Let's take something more complex, right? maybe something like this. I'm going to try this really fast and just see what we get. Okay, I'm going to show you another method. I could use that photo. I could use this photo. This one's even better. Let's say, for instance, I have some text. Since it is springtime, let's type that in there. S-P-R-I-N-G. Something like that. Spring. And let's get fancy with some of these letters. With this P, maybe not. With this G, we'll make it super long and curly like that. Okay, so in this case, I actually want these flowers to kind of overlap this text in some way. So I'll select that background. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to select, and I'm going to go to focus area, and we're going to see what happens. The font is called Lust Script Display. Right from there, focus area, no hands mode, both hands here. I'm not doing anything, right? It's going to go through, and it selects what's in focus, right? So this could be pretty magical, right? It's selecting that focus range automatically, right? And then I can grab more pixels as I drag that to the right. It's going to pick up more of those pixels like that. So I could play with this all I want. I could kind of adjust the image noise level, which I haven't actually played a lot with. But essentially what I want is I want to make sure I get this flower and maybe a flower over here to kind of cover up the S. So that's kind of what I'm going for. Dragging both the in focus range, there we go, kind of grab that flower. Ooh, perfect. I want this flower as well. And watch this magic. Check this out. You seeing this? New layer with layer mask. So Photoshop already knows what I'm trying to do. Hello, Morad from Earth. Guess what? I'm from Earth as well. Unless you were trying to say Perth and you forgot the E. Either way, I welcome you. And you from Marge. Randy wants to send me a private message through any of the social media little things that I have over there, either through Twitter, Paul Tranny, or Instagram. Twitter's a good way. Just so you know, if it's a private message, you can probably do it through Facebook. Okay. Okay, so that's what it did. It output a new layer with layer mask. Bam, there's my two layers, right? We can make those layer sandwiches. Now we can take this spring, drag it underneath, and now we're in business for what we're trying to do. Okay, so in this case, I'd take these two, maybe rotate them. And this is where I just kind of start to play with this whole idea and do something, again, kind of like that. I don't know, maybe stretch it out a little bit. I don't know. I'm still working on it. Maybe flip vertical. Oh yeah, something like that maybe. Again, just playing with this. Trying to get something nice. Or maybe nothing's working. I don't know. Ultimately, maybe something like that is what I'll potentially go with. Right? Again, just showing you different selection methods. Want to see my favorite? You ready for my absolute favorite? Spring. Let's do 2019. It's 2019, right? I sometimes forget the year. But let's bring that up like that. There we have 2019 spring. You get the idea. Cool. Hello from Bedfordshire. Michael Greaves. Good to have you here. Fantastic. All right, so a couple of those selection methods I've done. I've done the color range, focus area, and now I'm going to do subject. But let's make this harder. Let's go. Oh gosh. Where's a good... I need to find a good image. In fact, you know what? Let's use good old Adobe stock. And notice how I have a lot of Adobe stock images already synced. Let's try this one. So this image would work great for focus area selection. Okay, but I want to use subject now. So it's going to determine what the subject is again, it can't read my mind. Let's just see what happens. Again, I'm just opening up an image that I've never used before. And sure enough, it grabs this subject. It grabs the sharpest thing within this particular photo. And you could see it's grabbed that selection. So again, focus area will work. I'll take these two, drag them over. Boom, 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 boom. Make that layer sandwich. Something like that, you know, is what I would try to do for this particular case. You get the idea. So it's not bad. Full nature images. This is actually what I was looking for. Some of this stuff. This is so good. Let's try this. Buffalo, check this out. Ready for this? Select subject. Try that one more time. Bop. Is it going to grab the buffalo? Oh, yes. It does. Duplicating. Layer mask. It grabs the buffalo. As you can see, I hope you're impressed. I kind of am. Let me know if you have questions. I'm going to go through, and I do want to show you what I'm making as well. Again, I'm just creating this nice layer effect right in here. Let's change this for not spring, right? There we go. You get the idea. Easy enough, right? Let's get into some of these details. Are you ready? That was super fun. Select subject. Let's go back to this picture. This is what I'm doing, by the way. What if I want to give her like, put a bunch of flowers behind her, right? That's what I want to do. Put a bunch of flowers behind her. We'll put that flower right up there by her head. Beautiful, but we want to select her. This is going to get interesting because, oops, there's a lot of white in her skin. Yeah, what's going to happen? This is what I would typically try. I do, yeah. Ada, you're right. I love the spring style design. I don't know. Hopefully that means I'm a happy person. You know, I'll go over to select these tools. By the way, as I go to some of these select tools, if I go to, you know, quick selection or magic wand, you know, I might try some of that. But for either one of those, notice that also it will give you the select subject up in the top bar right here. So this is easy to access, but this is where I typically start, is I start with select subject just to see what happens, because this means it's doing work that I don't have to. And again, I don't know what's going to happen. Maker blue. Offspring, good. Hello from Israel, Eli. Good to have you here. What? Look. It did it. Select subject selected her as well. It got so much of this, right? So much. It's so nice, right? And from there, we can mask her out just like that. I just click the mask button and there she is. But we have more details that we've missed, like right in here. Well, we select that particular subject. I could try to use some of these tools off to the side, right? We get it. You'll use the lasso tool and you try to come in and try to clean it up or something. But what I want to do is I want to use select and mask. So with that selection, this mask selected right over here, you'll get properties for that mask off to the side. So you can feather it, do some certain density maneuvers. So it's going to do the obvious. I don't want to give her a halo, but I want to dive into select and mask, right? And this is where the pros live. This is where the Andrew Kavanaughs of the world live. And the Samuels of the world live. And all you pros. Yeah, Lydia. Yay, Lydia. Lydia's just learning about select and mask today. And she wished she knew it last week. That's the kind of... It'll change your life, is what I'm saying. Okay, so this is what we have. It's like, hey, all edges aren't created equal, right? We know we have an issue right here, right? How can we clean that up, right? We could use these different selection tools because that's what we have in here is we have the ability to come in and say, hey, you know what? Let's like select, you know, this part right here as I just draw over it. Let's increase the size of this. Right, so I can add to the selection. Right, that's what I'm doing there. It's just like, or technically removing. But basically, it's kind of like you're painting. Okay, so we have this quick selection tool right down here. This is our brush tool. So if you're really confident in your edges, I can kind of take down the opacity right in here, and I can kind of zoom in and play with this all I want. Make that really tight. I'm adding to what I want to keep, but this is the magic that I want to do right up here with this hair, right? Once I've used that brush, hey, let's use this refine edge, right? Refine edge tool. This is your hairbrush. How to clear a background complicated with hair. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. But there's more I would do here, by the way, because I could talk to you about how the pros do it. But basically right in here, brush, refine edge tool, and I'll just click and roll over the hair right there. And it will typically go through and analyze her hair. Even right over here, we kind of have this edge. It's all about, let's just make this a little larger. Let's roll over that. And it will refine that edge. So typically this is what I will do with the hair, because it's going to get all these flyaways, even in this tight spot right down here. See what it does? It's actually going to get some of those hairs and then not get that little gap in there, right? What about right down here? Let's kind of clean that up like so, right? And again, I can always use the brush, and if I hold down the Option key, I could remove, so I could paint over. Wait for it. Increase the brush size. I could always use more or less my paintbrush right in here and clean that up like so. So that's all I'm doing right in here. I got some wackiness right over here. I could fix that. Paint over that. Let's get this spot right in here. This part I would probably, since I'm pretty good with my mouse, just use my lasso tool. So I can come in here, hold down the Alt key to make it a straight line where I need to. Oops, I did not hold down the Alt key initially, because technically I'm removing from this little area. Zoop. Brush, resize. This is a really large photo, so that's why everything's taking, there's like a slight delay with it, but you get the idea. A little more cleanup over here. Yeah, right. All right. I want to add two, still using that lasso tool, all within the same environment. Ugh. I get the add and remove kind of mixed up, whether it's a negative. Oh, see, I tell ya. Every time. Might be a slight delay. All right, there we go. I got lucky because this is actually pretty good. Maybe select this area. And check this out. Just like we saw earlier, we're going to output this to a new layer with layer mask. Click OK. Shoop. There it is. And disregard that line. That is from that photo earlier. There we go. All right. Let's see what I have in here. That will be a nice background for her. Yeah, that's okay. All right. What button do you press to remove a selection? Well, this is, thank you so much for asking, Olga. Because, oh yeah, by the way, look at the hair. So this is my selection. Let me turn this background into black. See, look at all the areas where I got it. First of all, I did not, I have some sort of runaway lines right in here that I'm fixing right now. But the places where I did kind of roll over and show you the Refine Edge tool did a fantastic job. And what's nice is I can always go into Select and Mask and clean that up. Again, Refine Edge. And to answer your question is you hold down the Option key to switch from adding to or removing from. Okay? But again, these spots were kind of bad. I can roll over that. Let's clean it up. Clean it up, Paul. I was in a rush. Wanted to impress you. Rolling over that part just like that. Clicking OK. All right. So far, so good. Let's do some fun things with this. Actually, what I'm going to be doing, by the way, is I'm going to add some... This is something I'm working on, by the way, is just... I'm going to make it look like flowers are going to be growing up kind of like out of her skin. I know it's weird, but hey, it's springtime, so even this lady, she had way too much... she's been eating way too many vegetables. Maybe she had way too many seeds, and now they're sprouting up through her skin. So that's what's happening here, just so you know. But again, I'm still working on it. And you can kind of see what's going on there. So stay tuned. I'm going to still work on that some more. You can see ultimately what we have in the works just by being able to sort of extract her from the background, maybe replace that color actually. Let's go with a nice purple. You know, and there we go. And now I can go ahead and start adding some leaves and some different things as well. So that is my plan, just so you know. If I want to add any one of these, I'm going to extract it. Yeah, Refine Edge will work great. By the way, Samuel, once you Refine Edge, by the way, oh, I love these flowers. These flowers are amazing. There's a chance you need to kind of, it really helps to sell it, especially with hair, by adding little like flyaways, right? So I'll go with the brush. There are different tips I can use, but I'm going to keep this simple. I'm just going to keep the size small, keep the hardness pretty small. This is my line I'm going to make. I'm going to make it even smaller using my bracket keys. I would come through and maybe select a hair and then draw out. Now when I'm doing this, by the way, let's make this even smaller and change the hardness, right? This could be the hair that I'm using, right? It's going to be like that. All right, what I can do now is I can increase the smoothing is what I would do, and that's going to give it a delayed motion. So watch what happens when I draw that. So you can see that delayed motion. Let's make this even smaller. It's really just like 1 pixel, right? Super light as I start to draw out this hair, right? But I'm drawing with 1 color. I actually would want to have a little bit of a variance. That's when you get into brushes. Things take a little bit longer, but I'd go into the brush settings and I would change the dynamics of this. So let's take a look at this. Color dynamics. I could do a foreground, background jitter, sort of bounce between the foreground and the background. So the foreground could be a lighter color, the background will be a darker color. And now I can draw out with those two different colors, right? So it's picking at random a jitter between the foreground and the background color, right? But see what I did there? I just added a little bit of the flyaways, and then it helps sell it a little bit more. All right, you got it. Cool, designer's life. Cosimo, good to have you here. Thank you. Music happens to be, yeah, I think it came from Premium Beats. I could be wrong. Or Andrew Apple Pie. All right. So again, that's what I'm working on. Stay tuned later on as I start to work on this. Using the techniques that I showed you earlier. Maybe you're also using the magic wand tool. Obviously, I can use that. Click. Extracted. And then a little bit of cleanup right in here as well. All right, so that's it. The big thing is I wanted to show you a couple of these features, right? Mainly focus area and select subject. From there, we went to select and mask, which tightened everything up. The other tools, like what I'm using right now, the Lasso tool, you kind of understand how that works, right? And really, ultimately, what you're making is you're making a layer mask that you're then just painting on using black and white, and that's all I'm doing at this point, is just painting right in there. You could see it, but let's increase the flow to 100% and take down the smoothing now that I'm not doing hair anymore. And let's turn off color dynamics. There we go, just adding to this part. You get the idea. Stay tuned, I'm going to be working on this some more today. It's going to hopefully be pretty awesome as I tighten this up, because I'm going to have the cool veins with the leaves and all that fun stuff integrated into her body. But look for that on Instagram. I probably am not going to finish it till tomorrow, because we all know this stuff takes a lot of time. So again, I'll continue to work on it. Just give me some time. All right, Anne Bracker in the house. Good to have you here, Anne. And Samuel and Roba and everyone. Let me know if you have any other suggestions. Eli as well. And yeah, that's all I got going on. Thanks for watching. Thank you, Afroja. Let me know if you have any more comments. And follow me on these social media platforms, because that's usually where I post my artwork, usually on Instagram. So thanks so much for watching, everybody. Have a wonderful day. And thank goodness it's spring, huh? Go out and hug your neighbor. All right. Good seeing you, everybody. We'll see you.